Like we go to Elias's first question from Steve. Explain the 4% withdrawal and how it works. Does the 4% apply to my total retirement savings, even if I'm getting income already from Social Security and a pension? Or how do those fixed payments factor into how much I should withdraw from my portfolio each year?
This is a triple. 3 questions in one here.
It's a ba-da-bing.
So, can I explain the 4% withdrawal rule? Yes, I can. It is a rule that's been used in personal finance. It's widely adopted and considered to be a safe withdrawal rate. So let's assume you have $1 million. 4% withdrawal rule would state you're going to take $40,000 annually from the portfolio. Next part of the question, does the 4% rule apply to my total retirement savings if I'm already getting income from Social Security and a pension? When people talk about that, they're only referring to your retirement portfolio. They're not referring to your fixed income sources such as Social Security and a pension. So let's talk about retirement spending and retirement income. 4% withdrawal rule. We have a different belief for spending money in retirement. I do think this is a decent rule of thumb that can give you guidance and get you on the right path. I don't think people should be designing their income strategy around this rule. And that's
this
for
30,000 foot level you're talking about. That's what this is. The 4% is just like the big overview, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You get down into the weeds with them.
A little bit. And it was developed by a financial planner named William Bengen. He's revised the safe withdrawal rate over the years. It has a few assumptions. It assumes, I believe, either a 50% stock to 50% bonds or a 60% stock to 40% bond portfolio. And he's revised what he believes it is. I think if you were to just simply think about the returns over the last decade, you can pretty easily make an argument that people could be spending more than 4% of their total portfolio. Mm-hmm. So here's some good, let's talk order of operations on spending. If you just list these down on paper, fixed income sources, so Social Security and pension, mm-hmm. those are going to come first. And next is going to be your investment accounts. So IRAs, Roth IRAs, and then any non-retirement accounts that you have. Retirees typically spend money in 3 phases. The go-go phase of retirement, which this is when you first retire and you have increased cost of typically activities because you have more leisure time. Mm-hmm. And it can even just be gas in a vehicle. The number of retired people that tell me, I didn't know we were going to spend this much money filling up our vehicles in retirement. Mm-hmm. All you're eliminating is your commute to work, which is a fixed travel distance every day. Well, when you're retired, you might go to the donut shop in the morning and then go get a haircut. Oh, you know some people at the golf course hanging out, so you're going to go do that. People, I think, underestimate. That's one expense I believe they underestimate, and a small one.
Right.
But the philosophy of the go-go phase is you're going to be spending more money, and I would tell you should spend more money.
You've earned it.
You have earned it. The next phase of retirement is the slow go phase, which is where spending starts to level off. So people who travel less. People who like to go shopping for antiques. What's that? What's the word for antiquing? Or
antiquing.
What's the show?
Junking.
Oh,
American I can't come pickers. Up with the term.
Pickers. Yeah, picking.
Gotcha. The people that like to go picking, go picking less. People that golf less, mm-hmm. right? You're getting to an age where you physically aren't, you can't keep up like you used to. Or
emotionally, I'm done. I'm just like,
yeah, or been there, done that.
Yeah.
And then spending transition to what we call the no-go phase. Mm-hmm. Your activity costs come down, and a lot of times your healthcare costs rise in that last phase of life. So we believe your withdrawal rate should be unique to you and those different phases of retirement. One very simple thing we can do is define what's your maximum spending. Well, if you look at what someone could maximum spending annually and spread that out over 35 years, that's going to be one answer. But if you tailor it to, let's say I'm 60 and I really want to go hard from 60 to 75. I want to do all these things. I want to spend my money. I'm not as concerned about legacy planning and leaving money for my kids. That's a totally different number, because what a portfolio can sustain for 10 to 15 years is different than what it can sustain for 35 or 40 years. So I think if I were listening to this and I'm curious on what can my withdrawal rate be, I would suggest a few resources. One, our website, premieriwm.com. I would request a retirement income analysis. And then I would also take a look at a guide that we've created. It's called the 10 Critical Steps to Take Before Retirement. Let's get a unique spending plan put in place that is in concert with your goals and values, and will, in a way, be your permission slip to spend the money that you've worked hard to accumulate. I don't remember who coined this phrase in our office, but you're either going to spend and enjoy your money or someone else will. So yeah. I like to see clients spending and enjoying their money.
And what I think too, Elias, is, I said this last week, everything's better in a bull market. If you have some milestone expenses now, if you want to help a grandchild out now with college expenses, in your balance sheet, your balances on your 401ks and your IRAs are higher, it's a lot easier to take withdrawals from your retirement accounts right now. When we're in a recession, even though your balances are a lot lower, it may make you feel, Doug, that you're not as wealthy.
Yeah.
And people are hesitant to draw on their retirement accounts during a recession. I've seen this before. I've seen multimillionaires that have severe hay fever that usually get their grass cut by the neighbor boy.
Yeah.
He or she's out there cutting the grass, blowing their nose like crazy, just because we're in a recession.
Yeah.
And they feel
like they got it.
They feel a little bit poor. They feel not as wealthy as they were before. So I would say go for it now. Get a financial plan, but everything's better in a bull market. Now is the time to take some money out of the retirement accounts that you have.
You know, I find these rates that we were kind of talking over on there, 3.3, 4.7, you know, all these different numbers, kind of interesting. I remember running a plan where we went and we ran through the rate. They had an 11% withdrawal rate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was for a 2-year period of time.
Right.
Right. So we basically front loaded a lot of the contributions or a lot of the distributions coming out of the 401k, and then significantly dropped it a little bit later on. But for them, in order for their plan to run optimally, they were pulling a lot more out of investments. And we designed a portfolio that made that work. But they were pulling a lot more out of investments in the early parts of that retirement compared to a little bit later on when we were replacing those with other sources of income and other legs of the stool, so to speak.
Yeah.
I can think of 2 situations recently that I'm reminded of when Jonas says things are better in a bull market. Had a client call and ask about taking a large chunk of money out to remodel a kitchen. That remodel's paid for and gains in the portfolio. Why wouldn't you do it? Another lady called, wanted to buy a car for her granddaughter. It's all gains. Why? Like, what would stop you from doing it? It's all gains in your portfolio. Go ahead, buy her a car, right? And if you have this sentiment, well, I'm spending her inheritance, I think she's going to enjoy that car today just as much as she may in the future as well. Yeah.
Here's that $5, Elias, for me. Making sound good there.
And in reality, too, I think that part of that as well, Elias, is that you're going to have that psychological satisfaction knowing that you can watch their life become easier by having that car for them. You all say give with a warm hand rather than a cold hand, which is really one of those stunning things. It all comes down to having a financial plan. And again, if you want the 4%'s really a 30,000-foot thing, it's something that maybe you're thinking about it and you're thinking about retirement. You're going, and you're noodling over it and you're penciling out some numbers. They at Premier Investments and Wealth Management have custom software that's designed to do this. So you don't have to stick with a rule of thumb, okay? You can get something that's tailored to you to fit your needs very easily at premieriwm.com. Click Get Started. You can start there, or you can even call and make an appointment today at 800-383-6590.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial or tax advisor prior to investing. Premier Investments in Wealth Management and LPL Financial do not provide specific individualized tax or legal advice. We suggest that you discuss your specific situation with a qualified tax or legal advisor. Rebalancing a portfolio may cause investors to incur tax liabilities and/or transaction costs, and does not assure a profit or protect against loss. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. All performance referenced is historical and is not a guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and cannot be invested into directly. There is no assurance that the techniques and strategies discussed are suitable for all investors or will yield positive outcomes. The purchase of certain securities may be required to affect some of the strategies. Investing involves risks, including possible loss of principal. There is no guarantee that a diversified portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market risk. Forbes' Best in State Wealth Management Team's ranking was developed by Shook Research and is based on in-person, virtual, and telephone due diligence meetings, and a ranking algorithm that includes a measure of each team's best practices, client retention, industry experience, review of compliance records, firm nominations, and quantitative criteria, including assets under management and revenue generated for their firm. Investment performance is not a criterion because client objectives and risk tolerances vary, and advisors rarely have audited performance reports. Shook's research and rankings provide opinions intended to help investors choose the right financial advisor and team, and are not indicative of future performance or representative of any one client's experience. Past performance is not an indication of future results. Neither Forbes nor Shook Research receive compensation in exchange for placement on the ranking. For more information, please see www.shookresearch.com. Shook is a registered trademark of Shook Research, LLC.